Welcome to the Rising Tide LinkedIn Live series. This is the Digital Hospitality Room. So if you're listening to this on our digital hospitality feed, we invite you to join digital hospitality leaders from all over the globe every Wednesday, every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. London time, wherever you are in the world. We are live every single week, and we want you to join us up here on stage. We are grateful for this community. We believe in the intersection of 4 C's: content, commerce, community, and communication. We are all content creators. The digital hospitality thesis is that every business needs to be digital first, especially brick and mortar businesses, and every business is in the hospitality business, whether they know it or not. Cali Barbecue Media Team, we are all here to support this community. We cannot do this alone, so we have so many leaders that step up when we can't make it to the rooms to host. These rooms will always happen. So thank you guys for being here. Today, I'm going to tease out the topic. It's going to be beautiful controversy. So I will share a story once we get through introductions, but today we are going to talk about places where you can find beautiful controversy. And I'm not sure, once we get some of our friends from the UK, I think it's controversy, but we'll ask Scott or Richard if they join us, if that's the right pronunciation or not. But I will go ahead. Stover is recording, so he cannot speak today. Stover is our producer. I will bring Kyle up. Kyle, take 60 seconds. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what do you believe? Go for it.
Morning, everybody. My name is Kyle. I am in beautiful, sunny San Diego, California. It has been a couple weeks now full of just the postcard picture perfect weather that we all love to brag about here in San Diego. I am a part of the team here at Cali Barbecue Media. I help out on the publishing and all things digital side of things with Sean and team. I also own my own digital agency called Mithril Media. We specialize in website design and development for businesses of all shapes and sizes. Something that I believe that everybody needs to spend some time outside every day. I have been making a very conscious effort to do that. For myself, that means going and walking around in my garden. And it is really easy for me to not do that, but I believe it is really important that we get all get outside, soak up some sunshine, touch some plants, talk to some plants, just appreciate the beautiful world that exists around us. So back to you, Sean.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Kyle. Thank you. Dean LeBay is in the house. Dean, take 60 seconds. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what do you believe?
My name is Dean LeBay, LA, I'm in rainy New Orleans today. And what do I believe? I believe that everybody needs to be respected no matter what station in life that you're in. And I believe in these rooms. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Dean LeBay. Chris Dial, welcome again. Thanks for coming back. Take 60 seconds. Who are you? Where are you calling from? I guess we're not really calling. We're kind of like, where are you tuning in from? What would be the proper terminology, Kyle? Calling is definitely more AM sports talk radio.
Yeah, I don't know. Dialing in.
Yeah, we're not really dialing in either. We're kind of virtually coming onto this digital hospitality LinkedIn Live internet stage. Well, thank you for joining. Signing in. Yeah, thank you for signing in and getting involved. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris Dial. I'm signed in from Nashville, Tennessee. I am a commercial insurance agent. I also own a brewery. I believe, and I'll say this, unfortunately, I had one of our bartenders committed suicide yesterday, so I say this in all restaurant hospitality. This world's a rough place, and people need to be willing to talk and share their stories, and hopefully that story helps someone else.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Chris. It's suicide awareness. I'm really sorry that you're going through that, and I appreciate you being vulnerable to share that.
Absolutely.
Please let us know and let the community know if there's anything that we can do to support.
Definitely.
Hildy Isaacs, welcome to the stage. Hildy, who are you? Where are you signing in from? And what do you believe?
Hi, I'm Hildy. I sell swag for a living, And you never know where I'm dialing in from because I am blessed that I can work anywhere in the world. I am driving from Blue Ridge Mountains. I am headed back to my home in Sandy Springs / Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm going to mix Chris and Kyle together. Initially, I was going to tell Kyle that I am all about you got to be outside for even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day. But on my 2-hour drive home from the Blue Ridge Mountains, I stopped and did a 90-minute moderate hike in Amicalola Falls. So I got to see falls and I sweat and I think I climbed 150 stairs. And I have been suicidal, and I in my heart believe that if we all take time for ourselves every day, I prefer the morning, start my day putting myself first, it keeps me from going down the dark path of suicidal thoughts. And it also keeps me the best person I can be for myself, for my family, for the people I work with and for, being a great boss, being a great mom, being a great everything. And so Chris, there is an expression I heard many years ago. I don't like saying I'm sorry when there's a death. I like to say I wish you long life, to flip that on its wheel and make it more positive. So I wish you and the person who made that poor choice a long life. And Kyle, maybe one of these days we'll get outside together. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you so much, Hildy. We appreciate the vulnerability and yes, taking care of yourself. That is one of the founding things that most of this room and most of this community believe in. And as hospitality leaders, as hospitality people with our DNA, it's very hard to put ourselves first. But when we ask for help, when we have conversations like that, we realize that we actually can help more people when we prioritize ourselves. Thank you, Hildy. Jason Brooks in the house. Jason, 60 seconds. Who are you? Where are you signing in from? And what do you believe?
Jason Brooks, signing in from Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I actually help close the gap between customer expectation and operator execution. And I do believe that we all are hospitalitarians. I know that there's a lot of different definitions out there of what that is. And I lean more towards on the way that Sean has defined it, as we are all in the hospitality business. It's just that we are in a business first, and then we have people whom then sell services, or people whom mix drinks, or people whom serve amazing food, or sell digital media services that helps match the personality to help promote their brand. But it's all about people first. So I believe that it's always about hospitality, how we connect, how we make each other feel, how we can empathize and create that win-win. So that's about it.
Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you for being here. Mercedes, welcome to the stage. You know the drill, 60 seconds. Who are you? Where are you signing in from? And what do you believe? Go for it. Mercedes, are you able to unmute? We're having a little bit of LinkedIn issues. I know Chris couldn't hear us. He sent me a text. Chris Groves is trying to get on stage. Scott, Justin, Kelsey, Mark, Summer, we see you down below. We'd love to have you come join us up on stage. Let's go ahead. Mercedes, whenever you're able to unmute, let me know, and just tap the mic or just go ahead and interrupt. But Richard, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Beautiful. Richard, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm Richard. I'm based in the UK, a beautiful sunny UK as it is today. I work as a coach, mentor, and brand consultant. And it's a really good question you ask about what do you believe in. I believe in storytelling. I believe in telling true stories. I believe in gratitude. And I believe in the English language, which is why as a side hustle, I help Americans to be able to use the word niche, as in niche down, because a niche is something that you scratch.
Richard, you weren't here when I started the room. Oh, good, we have Scott Turner here. But today's topic is beautiful controversy. Is it controversy or is it controversy?
I will defer to Scott to answer that. I refuse to niche down so early.
Okay, that's fine. Just to know we have a global audience with languages from everywhere. So thank you, Richard. Heather Cox, welcome back. Great to see you, Heather. Can you let us know who are you? What do you do? Where are you signing in from? Thank you.
Hey, Sean. Happy Friday, everybody. Heather Cox Codes. I am signing in from the second smallest state in the United States on the East Coast, that is Delaware, for a little geography quiz. I am Heather Cox of Heather Cox Codes, social media manager and strategist, content creator, host of 2 podcasts, 2-time TEDx speaker, social media director for Miss Delaware USA, Miss Delaware Teen USA, which is coming up in a week, I believe, for the Miss USA, which is like, we're super stoked. And what do I believe in? I believe in not shrinking yourself. If people cannot handle how much you are, go tell them to find less.
That was awesome, Heather. We're grateful to have you back. I know you've been busy hustling. We've been watching all the content. Just a reminder, please follow each other in the rooms. This community will connect with you, will support you on any platform, not just LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, podcast, wherever you are creating content, wherever you're sharing your story. We will support you. If you want to join our Instagram group chat, send me a message on Instagram at Sean P. Walchef, SHAWNP. WALCHEF, and we will add you to the group chat. We'd love to get more leaders and more voices up here in these rooms and on stage, so please share the room. Let's see, Mercedes, are you able to unmute? I know LinkedIn's been acting a little bit weird.
Hopefully. Can you guys hear me? Hopefully I'm
Yes.
unmuted.
You are unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. This is Mercedes. I'm also coming from sunny San Diego to you. Another beautiful 75-degree day. And I believe the power of hospitality is so great. And when you put multiple minds into one place, you get a better outcome. So
That is awesome, Mercedes. Grateful to have you up here on stage. Jordan Silverman is in the house. Go for it.
Hey everyone, Jordan, CEO and co-founder of Starfish here. We use AI to help restaurants automate their P&L analysis, spending less time in front of a computer and more time with guests. Big thing for me this week has been saying yes. Just people reach out all the time, cold emails, cold messages, and my big thing is just saying yes. I had a random person reach out about a podcast. Said yes, had a great conversation. Had someone reach out trying to sell me a sales tool. Usually I just say no, but thank you, and it actually sounded interesting. So I said yes. So my big thing this week is just being open-minded and saying yes.
That's awesome. Jordan, where are you signing in from?
I am sitting in my apartment in Boca Raton, Florida.
Awesome. Right on, Jordan. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Scott Turner is in the house. Scott, who are you? Where are you signing in from? And what do you believe? 60 seconds. Go for it.
Hi everyone, I am Scott Turner. I am calling in from London, UK. I don't really mind whether it's controversy or either which way, so I'm good with whatever anyone wants to call it. I am the founder of Auden Hospitality. We help hoteliers think differently about their F&B to create outlets their guests will love. What do I believe? I believe in community. I believe in community for any business, but especially hotels. I think that's where everything should start. And that's why I turn up to this every single week to be part of a community to get better and stronger.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Mike LaRue in the house. Go for it. Who are you? Where are you signing in from? And what do you believe? 60 seconds. Go for it. Can you hear us, Mike? We cannot hear you. There you go.
Happy Friday,
there
everybody.
We go. Go for it.
Mike LaRue. You can hear me now?
I got you now. Go for it.
You got me? Okay, cool. All right, thanks, everybody. Happy Friday. Mike LaRue, Vice President of Franchise Development with Angry Chicks. We're a up-and-coming Nashville hot chicken concept, just focused on culture, people, and the impacts we make in the communities that we plant our flag in. Working on this week, we have finalized some finishes. We're kind of updating our design, and it's been. I did a little video last week, and we're going to be putting something in our restaurants that is going to absolutely mind blowing. I can't divulge I'll just say, if you've ever seen the Sphere in Las Vegas, it's kind of
Mike,
the
Mike,
execution of that, and then what I believe, you never know the impact you can make on someone's life just by saying hello and making them like you give a shit.
Mike, are you on Wi-Fi?
And so I try and I just pay attention. No. Did you lose me
Yeah,
again?
you're cutting in and out. Are you on Wi-Fi? Not on Wi-Fi? Maybe get a better.
No, I'm not on Wi-Fi.
Okay. Maybe get a better position. Somehow you're.
Yeah, I'm
you're,
actually in my car right now.
Okay. Well,
I just.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't want to take up the time. So if you can't hear me, you can go ahead and move on to the next.
Well, we can hear you great now, of course. But we'll come back to you when it's story time. So we'll go ahead and get today's topic started. Today's topic is beautiful controversy. Controversy is something that we do not talk about in these rooms for obvious reasons, I think. But when you put beautiful in front of it, I think there's a story and a lesson that we all can learn from. So my question to the room before you get to your share, I'll share a quick story about why I wanted to talk about today's topic. But is there something that you love in your life that when you share it doesn't always get a universal, oh, I love that thing too? Is there something in your life that when you share it with someone else, you let them know, I love this thing? And I'm not talking about politics, that type of controversy. I'm talking about something that means something to you, means something to your family, means something to your business. Is there something that you share that has a different view? You can take chicken wings. Are you drums? Are you flats? Things like that, things that you believe in, but things that maybe when you've talked to people, they go, I don't like that thing. So I'm going to share a story. I shared a post on LinkedIn and on Instagram earlier this week, but I love jacaranda trees. Jacaranda trees are a beautiful tree that blooms all throughout Southern California and also in South America as well. But it's a tree that lays dormant throughout most of the year. And typically, when I started noticing these jacaranda trees and started really falling in love with them, was during my sobriety date back in 2012. So during my sobriety date, which was April 28th, I started noticing these purple trees, started noticing my sobriety more, started noticing how beautiful and how crazy it was to have purple trees in bloom. And since then, I've come to love these trees. I moved in to Eastlake with my family. And when we moved in, it was so important to me that we removed the tree that was in front of our house. And we drove an hour north of San Diego to a nursery, found a small tree, jacaranda tree, and drove it all the way back down, which it barely made the 15 driving. I was supposed to be driving 80 miles an hour because that's how fast we drive in California, but driving 60 miles an hour to hopefully protect this tree, bringing the tree down, getting it planted, and worrying for 4 years because this tree was not going to make it. It wasn't blooming. It wasn't getting to the point where we thought it was sick. My wife did so much work to try to make sure that this, purple tree would eventually bloom. And recently we just got back from a trip to Mexico. We went down to Puerto Vallarta with the family. But when we got back, it was the first time that this tree was blooming purple flowers. And these flowers are so beautiful. It's something that I'm so happy to see. It's something that I can share with my daughter. It's something I can share with my son. It's something I can share with my wife, and now something that I can share with the community. But the reason I talk about beautiful controversy is because there are people that I know and I love in San Diego. And when I tell them about my love for the jacaranda tree, they go, that tree? You love that tree? That tree's such a mess. Because those purple flowers, all they associate with is the mess that it makes. It makes a big mess under a car, on a sidewalk, on a lawn. It's a very messy tree. And I consider it a beautiful mess. So when I got back, my wife and I were admiring how beautiful the tree was. Within a week, 2 weeks, it started to, those flowers started falling to the ground. And I talked to my daughter. I said, we're going to go and clean up the tree because it's going to make it more beautiful. So I was teaching my daughter about this tree, about this beautiful controversy, about this thing that multiple people, and even when I made the social post, people were still like, oh, I hate that tree. Somebody actually put on Facebook, like, oh, I cut that, wherever I've moved, I've cut that tree down because we don't want that tree. We don't want those purple flowers. So my question to the group is there a beautiful controversy? Is there something that maybe will inspire you to talk about or to share on social? Is there something that controversy or beautiful controversy has sparked for you? So Kyle, Mike is yours, my friend. Beautiful controversy.
Yeah, I love that story, Sean. And I got to say, I am a very non-controversial person. I typically avoid confrontation. My wife and I have sort of an ongoing joke in our house that, like, when we got to deal with customer service, if we need to put on like the nice hat, that's usually my job to make that call. If we need the hard ass, that's my wife's job to make that call. So we've got our roles pretty well defined there. But when you were talking about the jacaranda tree, it sort of brought to mind. I don't know how controversial this is, but I think it lives in that same vein. So I've been gardening now for a few years, and gardening has been something that's kind of been front and center for a while, but especially in my life lately. I just recently started a new Instagram channel to sort of document some of my journey of learning about gardening, getting to be a better gardener. And it kind of made me think about my garden as a whole when we're talking about controversy. I've specifically with my garden over this last growing season, which really started, kind of springtime this year, I've leaned into this concept of what I would refer to as like chaos gardening. So if you think of a garden in like really neat rows and like all of this type of plant goes here and all of this type of plant goes here and it's perfectly spaced, that is not what my garden looks like. And I've leaned into that for a few reasons. One, it is just a way better projection of me as a person. Like I'm a little bit scatterbrained. I'm, the ADHD brain. I'm all over the place. And so having to put things in these really, really neat rows and it just didn't make sense. Two, I'm also like obsessed with efficiency. And so I get frustrated when I look at my garden and I see all these neat rows, but I see space where like, oh, I could probably grow something else there. Why am I not making use of that space? So it's really just like a physical representation of my personality in a lot of ways. But I think what it's kind of helped me lean into a little bit more is maybe some of that chaos of like things don't always have to be neat and tidy. I'm a father of three. I'm a business owner. I'm trying to make it all work. I'm trying to figure all of this stuff out as we go, like I think many of us are. And so I think embracing a little bit of that, I don't know if that's a controversial take, but maybe embracing some of the chaos of day-to-day life and kind of leaning into that and just letting it in, not being afraid of it, letting it be a part of the day-to-day and learning how to live alongside it as opposed to trying to control it all the time. And that's kind of what I've leaned into with my garden. And it's been a great learning experience because my garden is doing better this year than it has in the 4+ years that I've been growing stuff out there. It's really thriving. It's just making the most of it. And I've learned like the more that I kind of let it do its thing, the more beneficial that seems to be for the garden, the bigger yields we get. So yeah, I don't know how controversial it is, but that was the first story that came to mind when you started talking about the jacaranda tree. That's kind of where I'm at, is leaning into this chaos of life. And I think the seasons of life right now might feel a little bit chaotic for all of us, given just everything in the world, right? It's just the way it is. So maybe it's good for all of us to think about how can we lean into that? How can we maybe control the things we can control and let go of the things we can't?
That was amazing, Kyle. Yes, and for those that are not in that Instagram group chat, Kyle, what's the name of the Instagram handle for your garden?
Yeah, it is Pfluegs Plants. So my last name, Pfluegs. Pfluegs is my nickname, has been since as long as I can remember. Plants. You can find it on there. So yeah, Come give us a follow. We're having some fun doing some storytelling on there.
Yes, beautiful chaos. And I would argue that it is controversial because most typical garden, like people in the gardening world, they'll see the chaos garden and they'll either love it or hate it, right?
100%.
So they've got something to say about a proper way for a proper garden.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You find what works for you and you lean into it.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Kyle. Dean LeBay, beautiful controversy, beautiful chaos. You got a story for us?
I'm not sure how this is going to land, so I'll just say it. I believe in in controversial, I believe in the underdog. I know a lot of time in work environments that we're in, you have employees and the culture and all that, but there's always, one or two people that people say, well, he's just not going to make it, or she's not going to make it. She's not part of the team or whatever. But I like that controversy, because what that tells me is that nobody's taking the time to spend with them and kind of bring them up to speed. And I don't know, football games, you always got the underdog. I like the underdog. Horse track, daily double, long shot, I like the underdog. So I don't know if that fits into what you're talking about, but that's my controversy, because usually in the work environment, they say, well, why are you wasting your time? And it's like, it's not a waste of my time, because somebody didn't take the time to do what they were supposed to. So anyway, that's it.
I love it. Huge fan of the underdog. I think that deserves its own room topic one day. That's fantastic, Dean. Thank you for sharing. Chris, you got a story you'd like to share? Beautiful controversy, beautiful chaos.
Yeah, honestly, I was sitting here trying to think about a story. I don't necessarily have a story, but I love the topic, and I think in whether you're in sales or maybe it's hospitality or business ownership, I found myself being open to any controversy that somebody's bringing to me, whether it's political, religious, sports teams, or anything in between. And I find myself just being willing to listen, learn, and try to understand if in my mind it's not, maybe I don't agree with what their thought, or their, maybe I don't like that tree, maybe I don't like the garden, but I can understand why, and I can listen and learn why someone else loves and appreciates their viewpoint. And I think I try to take that philosophy into the world and say this world would be a lot better place if we didn't find controversy with others for other viewpoints, and there was a little bit more beautiful controversy.
It's great. Yeah. Creating controversy versus celebrating something that might be controversial. Hildy Isaacs, you got a story for us? Beautiful controversy.
Okay, here we go. For the last 10 years, or maybe more, I have been an OMADIF, which stands for 1 meal a day intermittent faster. And talking about the worst room on the planet to admit that. Y'all live for people who eat at least twice a day. So you'll forgive me, but pretty much, I'll cheat once in a while, but most days, no food enters my mouth before 4 p.m., although this weekend I have dinner plans every night, so I won't eat anything before 6 p.m., and if I'm home alone, I'm usually done eating within an hour, but if I go out for dinner, I give myself grace, and I'll give myself 4 hours at the most. So all day, like today, I did a 90-minute hike, drank a lot of water, 1 cup of black coffee, and I have unlimited energy. This is what it's gotten me. It's not made me thin, but I have unlimited energy. I have no brain fog. I am no longer allergic to dairy. I no longer have high blood pressure, no longer have, what was the other one, cholesterol. And I just love the lifestyle. I know that I don't have to think about food before 3-4 o'clock. And I absolutely love it. But I would say at least 50% of the people I talk to either think I'm stupid, or they're sending me articles showing how horrible it is, or they're saying they could never do it. And I know in this room, that's probably the one thing you don't want to hear is becoming trending. So there you go. For me, it is beautiful controversy.
I disagree, and I'm so happy that you shared that. That is, first of all, congratulations. 10 years of doing anything is a milestone, but something like that is absolutely amazing, and all the benefits that you've gotten from it. I'm so happy that you shared that, Hildy. That is, have you ever shared that on social?
Have I ever shared it? Once in a while in my introduction, but like I said, a lot of people have a problem with it, especially people in the restaurant business. I mean, Sean, think about it. If the entire world only ate one meal a day, well, I don't know. Maybe I guess if the whole world ate one meal a day, then you all would shift your things and you would make your money because maybe you wouldn't pay people to work for lunch shift. I don't know. But I absolutely love the lifestyle and how much money I'm saving too.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I'm happy that you shared it. Thank you, Hildy. That was awesome. Jason Brooks, beautiful controversy.
Beautiful controversy. I would say one thing that is controversial that I do, which is beautiful, is the fact that I am the main cook that's in my house. I know that some people are like, well, why is that controversial? Because I typically cook like 6 days a week, sometimes 7. It feels like 8 days a week that I'm cooking, but half the time my wife is actually out in the yard doing something, and I'm the one that's in the house that's actually cooking. And it's controversial because, I hang out with a bunch of older guys, and, they're like, well, Jason, don't tell my wife that you cook because then my wife is going to expect me to cook. So it is just strange whenever I'm like, hanging out with quote unquote the fellas, and I'm like, yeah, well, actually, I'm the cook. And you would think that as much as I travel as well, that I wouldn't really have that much time to cook, but I actually will plan meals. Like I actually make a calendar of meals and will like batch cook it to put it in portions to have stuff ready. And what I cook isn't really simple. It's stuff that actually like takes me hours in order to get ready. So it's just, always strange that I'm, not strange because this is the world. We can do what we want to do, but you will always find me in the kitchen, always cooking, because that's what I've done probably for the last 30 years. We are a dinner family. So dinner is the main thing that we always focus on, but it's great because we always eat together as a family. Most households, I do believe, sometimes find it a challenge for everyone to sit down and to spend that time together every single day. We actually do. It's crazy that we do every single day. And it's always something 98% of the time that's made by my hands. And I find a lot of joy in that. Yes, I could be working on my business. Yes, I could be getting in more exercise. Yes, I could be eating once a day like Hildy, but I'm actually always focusing on just creating that next thing for my family. And it is amazing that we get to spend the time at the table every single day, look each other in the face, hiding our cell phones underneath the table because they still get snuck in sometimes, and be able to do that. So last piece, I just bought a house out here in the Lake Wylie area of Charlotte, and my neighbor who's at the back of my house, that I swear he's like just stalking us. He's like, Jason, I swear 4 days a week you are in the backyard grilling. And I said, yeah, because whenever we moved in, the first thing that I got rid of whenever we moved in was the oven. I took it straight to the dump. He said, I knew it. I'm like, I'm just bullshitting you. It's actually still in there. I just like grilling. So, but it's crazy that, yeah, we actually cook that much. I cook that much. I grill that much. And it's a great controversy because it's my wife that's in the yard and I'm in the kitchen versus vice versa. That's not a real thing. I'm just saying that most people would think that, but you can do anything that you want. But that's my beautiful controversy.
I love it, Jason. What's for dinner?
For dinner tonight is going to be actually pan-seared New York strips with some dirty rice and asparagus that's going to be sauteed, splashed with some white wine, just a little bit of butter at the end, some oregano, salt, pepper, and some garlic. These steaks, I'll bring them up to a room temperature for about 30 minutes, and then I'll pan sear it. I typically grill it, but I really want to pan sear it with butter and do it a little bit differently than putting it on the Weber or on the Traeger.
Now, not to
That's
get
why you cook 7 days a week.
Do you do your own shopping for your ingredients?
Yes, actually, yes, that is true. I actually joke with my wife, and I'm like, "Do you even know how much a gallon of milk costs?" Because I've never seen you at the grocery store. I'm the one that's always out shopping. I'm the one, and I have a restaurant depot card, so I will actually go buy whole loins, big boxes of chicken, break it all down, put it inside the deep freezer, put dates on it, make sure that I rotate it, all that stuff. But yeah, I can break down from a whole filet loin to a sirloin loin to brisket. I break it all down and do the whole thing. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Jason. And we all look forward to dinner with Jason Brooks. That's awesome. Heather Cox, got a story about beautiful controversy?
Yes, I do have a story about beautiful controversy. And that controversy, I used that controversy to craft my TEDx talk. So my TEDx talk was about the words that we use to describe women in business as boss babe, fempreneur, CEO, girl boss, like all these just like infantilizing, like derogatory, like demeaning words that we use for women in business. And women created these words, right? It stems from the MLM industry. It has something to do with LuLaRoe. I don't know if anybody knows who LuLaRoe is. It is like those like MLM, what are they? Athletic pants, those stretch pants that had all the different like designs. And like, I'm sorry, but MLMs are a scam. I don't care who you are, what you do. MLMs are a freaking scam. It is proven. It is, I mean, multiple court documents. And so it just this word, boss babe, just kind of took on a life of its own where it like encompassed this community full of toxic positivity where you're not allowed to speak up and step up and being like, hey, like I don't like how you treated me, or hey, this is what happened in my business, I have a question. If you asked any negative questions or questioned authority, you know, you were labeled not a team player and somebody who, you know, doesn't fall in line. And so, you know, these terms boss babe and fempreneur are just a way to minimize the entrepreneurial experience of women and women in business. And so I was like, you know what? Like, let's take that and run with it. And so I created my TEDx talk, and this was before ChatGPT came out. So I did all of the research by myself online, looking for white papers, looking for medical journals, looking for news articles that are backed by fact and data, to craft this TEDx talk about how women bring a lot more to the table in business than, you know, a lot of people think they do, and that we should be referred to as just a boss and not, oh, she's a boss babe. We don't call men, oh, he's a boss man. I mean, sometimes maybe you do on like the construction sites, but you don't call him like a manpreneur or a male CEO. Like, you don't really put that. Like, so that was the controversy that I leaned into. And so I actually created a memorial service for the terms of boss babe. It was literally titled RIP Boss Babe. And so anybody can watch it. They can literally type in Heather Cox TEDx Boss Babe in Google and they will find me, or TED.com. I'm literally on TED.com. But yeah, I use that to lean into being like, look, I've been in business for 15 years in January. And so just to give my opinion and my thought process about, okay, you know what, like women also bring a lot more to the table than a lot of people think that they do, and that we should be celebrated for that and not be labeled with these demeaning terms as, you know, boss babe and CEO and girl boss. Like, no, we're business owners, we are entrepreneurs, we are bosses, period. So if you guys want to go watch that, look it up. Thanks.
That is amazing. Heather, can you put a link in the group chat for
Sure.
the TEDx talk? Super cool. Thank you, Heather, and welcome back. We're grateful to have you sharing your truth, sharing your beautiful controversy. Mercedes, you got a story about beautiful controversy, beautiful chaos?
Oh yeah, do I have a story? So being on LinkedIn is controversial. In case anybody didn't know, but I actually don't find it controversial at all. I think that it's a very big benefit, and I've met some people that I would have never met in real life by being active on here. But when I first started posting on LinkedIn, I definitely got some feedback that was just not what I expected. More of like, it's cringe. How are you gonna post like that? Do you know what you're talking about? Are you looking for a new job? A lot of people ask me if I was looking for a new job. And it's funny because I think Sean, you said it, is like when you put a name onto something, like when you say TikTok, people have their own perception of that thing and they don't actually know what happens there and like the magic that's created. And so, yeah, being on LinkedIn is controversial. It has really helped me in not only my mindset, but also like who I've met and how it's changed my mind back into a business mindset. Before I had kids, I was extremely business driven. I had an extreme like entrepreneur mindset all the time. And then I had my kids. I worked from home with them, and I kind of just got in this rut of living day by day and just taking care of my kids. But being on LinkedIn has like really motivated me to think outside of the box, to continue to grow and all of that stuff. So if you're here on LinkedIn, it can get you somewhere. I hate when people only put an intention to make a sale here. I don't like that. I'm not here to make a sale, although I have great news. I am closing my first deal from LinkedIn for $25,000. So it can make a deal. I was not with the intention here to make a deal. So it's a magical place, and I hope the controversy over LinkedIn kind of gets blown over one day.
Thank you so much for sharing that story. I know whoever is listening on replay on the Digital Hospitality feed, I know everybody here, we all benefit from hearing stories like that. And I'm trying the best not to say social media because it comes with so many connotations. It's just modern communication. We're talking about internet storytelling. And when you say social media, when you say LinkedIn, when you say TikTok, so many people think certain things. And I'm happy that you've leaned into your truth and you're finding all of the benefits that everyone that's here and everyone that's down below knows how powerful of a tool. I mean, it's digital hospitality at its best. We have people from all over the globe that can all meet here and share ideas like this. So thank you, Mercedes. Mike LaRue, beautiful controversy. You got a story for us?
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I did a post last week, a video that I eventually took down. I need to follow up with that. And I took it down not because I took it down because it was basically it was giving off the perception that's not me. Like, I'm not one to take down a post if it's something that I believe in. And so basically the video was around the franchisor and franchisee relationship. And I talk to restaurant owners all the time who contemplate, should I franchise or should I not franchise? And I always laugh, and I basically say, well, it's being a franchisor in some aspects is kind of a glorified babysitter, because you're bringing on franchisees that you hope and expect to uphold the standards of your brand. And a lot of times, it's, a lot of times you have, that's just very difficult. And I brought up this story because I was relating it to my daughter, who, she had an issue with scissors, her little toy scissors, and she was cutting up things that she couldn't cut up. And we took it away from her, and 2 weeks later she comes back and says, "Mommy, Daddy, can I please play with the scissors again?" And we said, okay. And she was super cute, gave us a hug and said, "I'm sorry." And she goes off to her little play area, and she's silent for like 15 minutes. We're thinking, God, what's she doing? So we go over, and she had my 4-year-old daughter has beautiful hair, and half of it was on the floor. And she decided to give herself bangs and cut off a layer or two. And it was so, obviously looking back, it was funny, but I was the post that I did was relating to, hey, if you have a franchisee who's, you've kind of had to slap their hand, if you don't have, accountability or checks and balances in place to where you can kind of track and just kind of keep them up to speed and keep them accountable. And if they go MIA and they disappear for a while, they could wind up doing something that, could obviously hurt the brand. And so I made this video, and it was in fun, and it was not perceived that way at all. It was, I think the one comment was like, "This is disgusting," basically comparing babies to franchisees, and there were a few comments that were just kind of like, "Hey, this is completely misrepresented outlook on franchisees," and but it was interesting. What I got out of that is one of the comments, he had basically said, Robert Branca, who's a big franchisee and I think on the advisory board for Dunkin' Donuts, and I don't remember the quote exactly, but basically said, you get the franchisees you deserve, or it was vice versa. But ultimately, it's like, hey, it's the franchisor's fault if a franchisee comes in and they wind up being rogue. And they go rogue because maybe the systems aren't in place, or the franchisor didn't have the tools to allow that franchisee to be in the position to be successful. And I'm very pro franchisee on the franchisor end. Like, I always believe that, hey, it's our job to put the franchisee in the best position to be successful. But this post, where it was supposed to be fun, completely was not interpreted that way. And I don't want to I don't necessarily look at franchisees as being babies. And I guess when I take a step back at kind of what transpired, it kind of made me think that there's things that can be said in fun can be interpreted in a completely different manner, and just owning up to the fact that, say, hey, this is not my intent, my bad. It's I guess a lot of looking at kind of in the mirror some growth opportunities for myself, but it was just funny because I meant to be fun, but I was definitely didn't come across the way it was intended.
Hey, Mike, what did the copy were we talking on LinkedIn? You posted this on LinkedIn.
It was a video. Yeah.
Yeah. What did the copy of the video say? Do you remember? Like, did you say babies in the copy? Like, was it controversial?
I said franchisor equals, I think it was franchisor equals babysitter.
I saw that post and I was like, get it, sir. I was like, controversy for days. I loved it.
And
I find it funny you had that feedback on that post. I thought it was great.
Yeah, well, see, the reason I took, I guess, and again, I owe a follow-up video to that because, I'm trying to attract franchisees. And my mentality and our approach is saying, hey, like we're in this together, and it's our job to put you in the best position to be successful. And it's not hey, what's good for the owner? It's what's good for the brand, what's good for the franchisee, and then what's good for the market that they're going into. And I'm a firm believer that first impression makes all the difference in the world. And if you get that initial first impression that's negative, it takes a lot of work to kind of recover that. And I just don't have the time to do that, especially with someone that I don't have a relationship with yet. And so that was the intent of taking it down. I still think it's kind of funny, but it's someone can look at that and interpret it in so many different ways, and it's not always black and white. I mean, there's so many things to unpack, in that franchisor and franchisee relationship, and a lot of times, it is the franchisor's fault because they don't put the franchisee in the best position to be successful. But it may not be the franchisor's fault; it could be the fault of the consultant who's guided that franchisor to the point where they're at. So, anyway.
It's a great story. I'm happy that you shared it. Kyle and Sarah is down below, Mr. Restaurants on TikTok, and he's had his fair share of controversial viral TikTok videos. One of them in particular that I remember fondly was from a restaurant owner perspective about closing time, about when is it okay to let customers come in at closing time. And we could talk about closing time for a whole topic and a discussion, but how you respond to controversy. And as you said, Mike, sometimes people, like, I was curious if you put babysitters in the text, because maybe you didn't even put babysitters in the text and then they were actually just watching the video, which is great for video retention, right? But to your point, you don't know until you post, and like, you don't know what story's going to hit. You don't know what's going to resonate. And, starting this off with the jacaranda post, I'm like, how can people not like jacaranda trees? They're so beautiful. Turns out a lot of people don't like jacaranda trees because they're messy. They're messy and they don't want to clean up the mess. Me, on the other hand, I think it's a beautiful mess. So awesome, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard Liverman, beautiful controversy, beautiful controversy.
So many. I'm going to kick off with a very simple one. I believe that men should wear pink shoes or can wear pink shoes. I have 5 pairs that are going up in value right now, and they're rather awesome. I did a post about ADHD. I'm sick to death of people saying it's a trendy diagnosis. You should try having it yourself. It's not trendy at all. But the final one I want to share, and Sean, you might need to cut me off because I know you said no politics, and I realise that we've just had an election in the UK and obviously everything that's going on in America, but this is a controversy.
This is a circle of trust, Richard.
This might break it, Sean.
Then definitely tell it. These are storytellers. You go.
This is political. This is political, and this is really controversial, and I know it's going to divide this community, and I apologise in advance for it. But in 2017, the Icelandic president, a guy called Guðni Johansson, tried to ban pineapple on pizza in Iceland. I think this is one of the most disgraceful things I've ever heard in politics. I firmly believe that you should be able to eat pineapple on pizza. It's a delicious addition, and I'm sorry for splitting everybody on this, but pineapple can be on pizza. It's delicious, and the president of Iceland is a buffoon.
I'm out of the British clan on this one. I cannot believe he's just said that. We're over.
Really? Is it that bad? Really?
We don't do pineapple on pizza in the UK. It's forbidden.
Why
It's called a Hawaiian pizza. It's delicious, Scott, you Neanderthal.
I'm going to share this with all love for Bulgarians. All of you know that I have a Bulgarian wife. My grandfather was Bulgarian. But Bulgarians put mayonnaise and ketchup on pizza. There you go. You want more controversy than that. Mayonnaise and ketchup on every pizza. Anytime you get a slice of pizza, mayonnaise, ketchup on top. There you go. You think pineapple's controversial? Mayonnaise, in my opinion, is pretty much as controversial as you can get.
It was an international incident. You can look it up. Guðni Johansson, 2017, tried to make it illegal to have pineapple on pizza in Iceland. And I'm really curious about everybody else's opinion here. Does pineapple belong on a pizza? Yes or no? This is the big political question that neither the Democrats or Republicans are properly answering.
It's a yes for me, Richard. I appreciate the story, and everyone can make their own decision on whether pineapple goes on pizza. Mandy Graziano, take 60 seconds. Who are you? Where are you signing in from? What do you believe? And then do you have a beautiful controversy story you can share with us?
quite an assignment. I love it. I got it. My name is Mandy Graziano. I am an author of a hilarious business book called Sales Tales, The Hustle, Humor, and Lessons from a Life in Sales. And I'm a sales coach. I help sales teams in multiple industries, but specifically a higher concentration on hospitality. I help them be more memorable in the marketplace, have more fun with follow-up, and digitally dominate and get more leads and shorten their sales cycle. And I'm actually in San Diego today. I know I've been calling in from all sorts of weird places around the world, but today I am in San Diego and I'm here for a little bit longer. So I'm just digging this conversation about beautiful messes, beautiful controversies. I'm taking so many notes. And for the record, I love a jacaranda tree, Sean. So we're on the same camp there. And I also like pineapple on my pizza. And I don't know whose camp I'm in on that, but sorry if I'm offending somebody on either side of that. I think my entire sales coaching business is a beautiful controversy. And the reason why I disrupt and do the things the way I do in that business is because I've been a director of sales and marketing. I've been a vice president of sales and marketing, where the choices of people to hire are slim. And worst of all, it's expensive and the results for your team are not impactful. They're not sticky. And the reason why is because those trainings are too long. They don't give practical, tactical tips. The trainers are not in the field. They don't know what the voice of the customer is. So people, it's interesting, like when I talk about sales coaching, people get really upset when I'm like, no, we're not going to take your entire sales force out for 2 days of training. Like, that is ridiculous. They need nobody's attention span is that long, number one, and your customers can't be without your salespeople for 2 days like that, unless it's a vacation or time away or whatever. But like, to put them stuffed in a room without any windows and give them stuff they're never going to use doesn't make sense. So I shorten all my sales training is 70 minutes or less, and we break it up in digestible bites. And so maybe the first one we do in person, and then maybe the other 5 we do virtually, and that's been successful. But it's funny, when you tell directors of sales and marketing this, they panic. They get like a hiccup because they're like, that's just not the way we've always done it. Like, we just feed our teams breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They get, they have to take their Prilosec and their heartburn medicine just to be in a meeting for 2 days, and then they're working late at night to get back to customers on emails. And so they're forgetting everything they learned that day because they're stressed out because they're double working. So everything literally about my sales coaching business is a controversy. And once they realize, like, oh, this is actually better for the salesperson, this is actually better for the customer to break it up into little chunks, then they come along with you. And I'm like, just try it. If you don't like it, go back into your dark room for 2 days. That's cool, but just give this a try. And the other thing with the beautiful controversy is, like, I'm telling people, take how are you off the table. And I've had so many people tell me, what I like, how are you? It's congenial, it's kind, it's nice. I'm like, everybody's gonna lie. Like, just take how are you off the table. Let's stop trying to extract the truth from people. Like, they're not going to answer honestly. Let's swap it out with a question that goes deeper and builds deeper relationships. Like, what made you laugh this week? What's for dinner? What's on tap for the weekend? Like, so I'm all about swapping out questions that people are very comfortable with, that they hide behind. And you take how are you off the table. It's scary. It's a controversy. But then when people try the other question, they actually realize they're forming deeper relationships. Same with the weather. It's like, never talk about the weather unless you're a farmer. And how many times have you been on a Zoom call or you've been in a networking thing and people are like, the rain is really tricky right now, or we've got 7 days of sun. It's like, that's so uninteresting. Like, just swap that out for more interesting questions. And so these are just some examples. I have a bazillion, but like, I just feel like my entire sales coaching business is a beautiful controversy, and it's working so far so great, but there is a lot of resistance at the beginning, and then once people actually give it a shot, they're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So I'm down for a beautiful controversy, and you just got to experiment with it and give it a shot.
That was an awesome share. Yeah, it's the idea that the juxtapositions of two different ideas, and and just Mandy, you sharing makes me think about digital hospitality is controversial. I mean, there is a camp where hospitality cannot be digital. There cannot be technology to provide hospitality, and obviously, that's the antithesis of what we believe in. We believe that you can be hospitable no matter where you are on Earth, and that humans are behind whatever internet thing is happening on the internet, and there's so many ways to be hospitable digitally. But yeah, that was a great share,
I
Mandy.
agree. Like Sean, it's so funny. I agree with you. I literally had 2 virtual speeches this week, and when you tell people, like I invite people to this room every speech. I'm like, you're all invited, 10 a.m., digital hospitality. And it's like it's that hiccup moment. You can see people's Adam's apple flutter, like digital hospitality, what? And then they come in here and they love it. So I'm totally with you. You just give it a shot. There's a place for all of it, and keep going.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mandy. And we see you down below, Kelsey. We appreciate you, from Marquis for being here. Ash, Mark, Simon, great interviews. We've been watching your content. Follow Simon's podcast. Jordan, thank you for being here. I saw you down below. Let's go ahead and do tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Chris, go ahead. Tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
Sorry about that. Couldn't unmute. Tip takeaway. Be open to other people's views. If it's controversial to you, it may not be controversial to them. Listen and learn and have an open heart.
That's right. It's the Ted Lasso quote Richard quoted last on Wednesday, which is be curious, not judgmental. Hildy, tip, takeaway, homework assignment. Hildy, if you're still with us.
I'm here. Sometimes you can't find the button so easily. So tip, takeaway, homework assignment. I'm going to do my other controversial thing. I would love everyone in the room to try just once oil pulling, which I do every single morning, which I start out with a teaspoon of coconut oil. I buy that giant tub from Costco and I keep it in my shower because I use it to moisturize too. But put a teaspoon in your mouth, swish it around for 20 minutes, and spit it in a garbage can, not in a sink. My dentist, and I've been doing this for at least 15 years, my dentist swears that he's never seen whiter teeth or healthier gums. And no one seems to be doing it, but I highly recommend oil pulling, which is coconut oil swished around in your mouth for 20 minutes every morning. That's it.
Wow, I've never heard that. Thank you for sharing that. Oil pulling, coconut oil, huh? Coconut oil.
It's got to be that unrefined virgin coconut oil. And again, the best is the big tub that you get. But I can't believe you haven't heard of it because it was trending a while ago, but I've been doing it forever. And I definitely think that's why my teeth and my gums are so white and healthy.
Fantastic. Thank you for the tip, Hildy. Jason Brooks. Tip, takeaway, homework
I'm
assignment.
gonna one up Hildy, and I'm gonna challenge everyone that wants to do a bourbon pulling, and that's an ounce of bourbon pushing around in your mouth for about 2 seconds, and then just go and swallow it. Don't spit it out inside a trash can. That's a waste of good bourbon. But that is my takeaway and homework.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Jason. Heather Cox, tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
I'm dying, Jason. That is so funny. I'm actually I have 2 things, but I wanted to back up what Hildy says. I've been doing oil pulling as well, and it is amazing. I use Garunanda. It is an oil pulling mouthwash that went trending on TikTok, and it is amazing. Make sure you do spit it in the trash can. My second one, so I am really I have OCD and dyslexia, and so it's really difficult for me to especially when I'm reading emails. If people just brain dump on me in an email, it's so hard for me to grasp the concept because it's just a brain dump and they're all over the place and scatterbrained. And so I actually find it very helpful to take people's emails and put them into ChatGPT to organize the thoughts for me and give me actionable tasks. So I was working on a website and somebody brain dumped on me and all these changes and all these thoughts all at the same time. And I was like, I can't comprehend anything. I was like, okay, what do I do? And then so like I copied it and put it into ChatGPT and I was like, okay, organize this email based on like thoughts and then like categorize them by like different like tasks and then give me actionable tasks so that like I understand, because like people will brain dump and not use like periods or punctuation or like enters, like the hard enters, so it's really difficult for me to read. So if you're like me, use ChatGPT to like help organize the emails or the thoughts, because it's definitely helpful and it'll like get rid of like the confusion in your brain. Okay, thanks.
That's a great tip. I haven't I haven't heard that case study yet, but that's awesome. Thank you, Heather. Richard, tip, takeaway, homework assignment, pizza recommendation.
Yeah, sorry for dropping that political bombshell on the room.
That's
And
all right.
I also see that.
Do you have any other color of shoes, or is it only pink?
Do you know what's really interesting? I have probably 8 or 9 pairs of different pink shoes. I collect the Kevin Durant Aunt Pearl, and they're actually going up in price. And it all started when my colleague had a meeting with Nike, and I said to him, I'll give you $100. Can you pick me some up when you're in the States? And he rang me up from New York, said, I'll pay for your shoes, but whatever I buy, you have to wear. And he bought me back these pink shoes with roses on. And if I hadn't have worn them, they'd be worth 50 grand. But I did wear them. I've worn them to raves, funerals, meetings. I actually wore it to my friend's funeral who bought me the shoes. So I have no regrets.
That's amazing.
I think it's, and what's really nice is when I go into a meeting or I go and do a presentation, I've got my pink shoes on, and that's like part of my armor. It's like part of my battle gear. And, it's whatever empowers us.
That's you're speaking to the right crowd here, Richard. I love it.
Yeah, it's a tool of the job. So my takeaway homework assignment is to make it up to Scott. And I think the best way of doing that is to order some Hawaiian pizzas to be delivered to his home address. So I'm going to go and do that now.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate it. Mandy, tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
I love all these. Just talking through this whole beautiful mess thing makes me realize that I don't know if I publicize or talk about my differentiators, just like we just talked about. I know I do them for my business, but I don't know if I share them, like what makes my coaching different. So I might just practice the beautiful mess online and just see what happens. So thanks for the inspiration.
Awesome. Thank you, Mandy. And thank you, everybody that's listening. Reminder, every Wednesday, every Friday, we are live on LinkedIn. Follow Cali BBQ Media for links to the show notes. You can email me, sean@calibbq.media. I'll add you to the Google invite so it's on your calendar. Bring a friend, tell somebody. You can always listen to the replays of these rooms on the Digital Hospitality feed. If you ever have an idea for a topic for the room, we're always open for new ideas. If you ever want to host the room, let me know. And we will figure out a way for you to host the room as well. And we're grateful. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Hildy, Jason, Heather, Richard, Mandy, Ash, Simon, Jordan, and everybody that joined us today. We appreciate you. Have an awesome Friday, awesome weekend, and we'll talk to you guys all next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Stover.